What if the heartbeat of Hudson and Rex suddenly changed? For years, the bond between Detective Charlie Hudson and Rex has been the center of the show. Fans tuned in every week not just for the crime-solving stories, but for the connection between a sharp detective and his loyal German Shepherd partner. But now, in Season 8, everything feels different. John Reardon, the man who gave life to Charlie Hudson, is no longer part of the series, and that single change has sent waves of shock and emotion through the fan base. Today, we're going back to the beginning, revisiting Hudson's journey and why Reardon's role was so much more than just another TV detective. From the very first episode, John Reardon's Charlie Hudson stood out. He wasn't just a standard TV cop, he had a calm intelligence, an approachable charm, and a quiet strength that made him relatable. Instead of playing a detective who relied on toughness alone, he leaned on instinct, observation, and of course his unshakable partnership with Rex. This was key to making the series feel different from other police dramas. The chemistry between man and dog felt natural, not forced, and audiences could feel the trust between them. Reardon's Hudson gave Rex a human anchor, someone who respected him as more than just a canine officer, but as a true partner. That bond became the heartbeat of the show. Over the seasons, Hudson evolved. His backstory gave him depth, a man who had gone through personal struggles but still found strength in his work. Fans connected to the fact that he wasn't perfect. He was strong yet vulnerable, someone who could face danger but still show compassion in moments of quiet. This balance made him not only believable but loved. Every scene between Hudson and Rex, whether chasing down suspects or sharing a moment of trust, reminded viewers that the show was about loyalty and friendship just as much as it was about solving crimes. Without Reardon's natural presence, this emotional heartbeat might not have existed. Reardon also shared a strong connection with the rest of the cast. His working relationship with Sarah, the forensic specialist, added layers of warmth and subtle humor to the show. With Donovan and Jesse, Hudson often balanced seriousness with a touch of lightness, proving he wasn't just a boss but part of a team. These dynamics built the foundation that made Hudson and Rex a long-running success. Fans didn't only love the cases, they loved watching these characters grow closer episode by episode. What made John Reardon's Hudson so special was how easily viewers saw themselves in him. He wasn't written as a superhero cop who had all the answers. He sometimes hesitated, sometimes doubted himself, but he always showed resilience and heart. That made his wins feel earned and his failures feel real. When he celebrated a solved case with Rex, it felt like a shared victory. When he struggled with personal dilemmas, fans could feel the weight with him. Reardon gave Hudson humanity, and that humanity is what made the show resonate beyond just being another crime drama. By the time Hudson and Rex entered its later seasons, John Reardon had become inseparable from the role. For many fans, the show wasn't just about Rex, it was about Hudson and Rex together. Inseparable partners both on and off duty, Reardon's performance gave Hudson a soul, and Rex gave him a constant companion who never judged or abandoned him. This simple yet powerful connection is what turned the series into something more than just a police procedural. It became a story about loyalty, love, and partnership in its purest form. That's why the news of John Reardon leaving shocked so many. It wasn't just about an actor stepping away. It was about a character that had been built carefully over years, someone viewers had grown attached to. His departure left fans wondering, can the show ever feel the same without him? And more importantly, can someone else step in and carry forward the legacy that John Reardon created? The legacy of John Reardon as Charlie Hudson is more than just 7 seasons of episodes. It's about the connection he built with Rex, the friendships he formed on screen, and the emotional bond he created with the audience. That's why his absence in Season 8 feels like the end of an era, and yet the show continues. Someone new has stepped into his shoes, bringing with them the challenge of living up to the high expectations set by Reardon's unforgettable portrayal. But before we talk about who replaced him, it's important to understand why John Reardon left, and what that means for the future of the show. Because behind every casting change, there's always a story. And this story has left fans with more questions than answers. Asterisk, why did John Reardon leave a role that seemed tailor-made for him? That's the question every Hudson and Rex fan has been asking since the surprising Season 8 shakeup. Reardon had become the steady face of the show, and his exit felt like a puzzle with missing pieces. Official statements have been minimal, leaving viewers to search for clues in interviews, production news, and industry chatter. What's clear, though, is that behind every departure like this lies a mix of personal choice, creative direction, and the challenges of sustaining a long-running series. One of the biggest factors that often comes into play with actors in long-running shows is timing. John Reardon had been playing Charlie Hudson since 2019, and for over 7 seasons he carried the emotional and narrative weight of the series. That's years of long shooting schedules, demanding storylines, and the pressure of being one half of a beloved lead duo. Many actors eventually feel the pull to step away, either to recharge or to explore new creative paths. Reardon himself has hinted in past interviews that balancing his career and personal life has always been important to him. With a family and other ambitions, leaving the role may have been less about the show itself and more about protecting his own balance outside of it. Another possible factor is creative direction. Television shows evolve, and sometimes the path writers and producers choose doesn't line up with what an actor envisions for their character. Charlie Hudson had already grown and developed across multiple arcs, solving countless cases, building strong relationships with his team, and sharing unforgettable moments with Rex. For Reardon, the question may have become, what more is left to explore? In many cases, actors step aside once they feel their character's journey has reached a natural conclusion. That allows the show to reinvent itself while giving the actor freedom to pursue new challenges. Of course, there's also the business side of television. Contracts expire, negotiations happen, and sometimes agreements simply aren't reached. Long-running shows often face budget adjustments, shifts in production priorities, and network decisions that can impact casting. While no official details have been made public, it's not uncommon for financial or logistical reasons to play a role in why a familiar face exits. Fans may never know the full behind-the-scenes story, but what's undeniable is that Reardon's departure marks one of the biggest turning points the show has faced. What makes his exit especially emotional is the timing. By Season 7, audiences were deeply invested in Hudson and Rex's partnership. The detective's character had become an anchor, someone viewers could rely on for both comfort and suspense. For many fans, losing Reardon feels like losing a friend they've welcomed into their homes for years. Social media was flooded with reactions, some shocked, some heartbroken, and others simply curious about what the future of the series might look like. Many fans even questioned whether the show could survive without him, because his presence had become so essential to its identity. At the same time, there's also an understanding among dedicated fans. Actors aren't just characters, they're real people with evolving goals. Reardon gave 7 solid seasons to the role, which is an impressive commitment in the fast-moving world of television. Many supporters have voiced gratitude for the years of memories, praising the dignity and authenticity he brought to Hudson. While they may be sad to see him go, there's respect for his decision to step into the next chapter of his life and career. This moment also sparks a bigger conversation about what it means to replace a character so central to a series. Unlike supporting roles, a lead actor embodies the heart of the show. When they step away, it forces producers to make bold choices, either retire the character entirely or bring in someone new to carry the torch. In Hudson and Rex, the decision was to keep the story alive by introducing a new lead, someone who could work alongside Rex and bring fresh energy to the series. That choice is both risky and exciting, because fans are naturally protective of what they've grown to love. In the end, John Reardon's exit wasn't just a change in casting, it was a shift in the emotional fabric of the show. His reasons, whether personal, professional, or a mix of both, remind us that actors are more than the roles they play. His departure closes one chapter, but it also opens the door for a new era in Hudson and Rex, and with a replacement already stepping into Season 8, the question now is not just why Reardon left, but who has been chosen to follow in his footsteps, and whether audiences will accept them. Asterisk stepping into the shoes of John Reardon's Charlie Hudson is no easy task. For 7 seasons, fans came to know Hudson as not only Rex's trusted partner, but also the emotional anchor of the show. So when season 8 arrived and news broke that a new face would take over the lead, audiences were buzzing with questions. Who could possibly replace him? How would the dynamic with Rex change? And most importantly, would the show still feel like Hudson and Rex without Charlie Hudson at its core? The reveal of the replacement shocked many fans because instead of trying to recreate Hudson, the show decided to take a different route, introducing a fresh character meant to honor the legacy of the past while steering the story in a bold, new direction. The actor stepping into the spotlight is not a copy of Reardon, and that was intentional. Producers knew they couldn't simply replicate the bond between Charlie Hudson and Rex. Instead, they introduced a new detective, one with a different backstory, personality, and energy. This character brings a unique flavor to the team, offering audiences a chance to see Rex adapt to a new partnership. At the heart of this transition lies a delicate balance, respecting the foundation built by Reardon while giving viewers a reason to keep watching. It's not about replacing Hudson, it's about reimagining what the show could become. The new detective's arrival instantly shifted the dynamics on screen. Where Hudson's style was calm, intuitive, and methodical, this character brings a contrasting approach. They may be more assertive, more by the book, or perhaps more unpolished in their methods. This creates an immediate curiosity. How will Rex respond? Fans know that Rex doesn't bond with just anyone. Trust has to be earned. Watching this relationship unfold adds a new layer of tension and drama, something that could refresh the show while keeping its core values intact. The partnership between detective and dog has always been the emotional heartbeat of the series, and Season 8 is all about testing whether that heartbeat can continue in a new form. One of the most talked about aspects of this casting change has been the audience's reaction. Social media lit up as soon as the replacement was announced, with some fans voicing skepticism and others showing cautious optimism. For many, it's hard to imagine Hudson and Rex without John Reardon's familiar presence, and the idea of someone else stepping into that space felt almost unthinkable at first. But as trailers and first-look clips began to surface, opinions started to shift. Some viewers were surprised by how naturally the newcomer fit into the established world, noting the fresh energy they brought to the team dynamics. Others remained protective of Hudson's legacy, insisting no one could truly replace him. This blend of reactions is exactly what producers expected. Change on this scale always divides audiences at first, but beyond fan reactions, the real test lies in storytelling. The writers have worked to integrate the new characters seamlessly, weaving them into the established team while leaving room for growth. Instead of pretending Hudson never existed, the show acknowledges his departure, allowing space for both the characters and the audience to grieve the loss of a familiar figure. This honesty adds weight to the transition, making it feel less like a simple swap and more like a natural evolution of the story. The new detective doesn't erase Charlie Hudson's legacy. Instead, they step into a world shaped by it, forced to prove themselves to Rex, the team, and the fans watching at home. Comparisons to John Reardon are inevitable, but that's where the strength of this casting choice lies. Rather than mimicking Hudson, the new lead offers something different. Chance for the show to evolve. Their chemistry with Rex will grow over time, just as Hudson's did in the early seasons, giving fans a journey to invest in all over again. Their interactions with Sarah, Donovan, and Jesse also open the door to new dynamics, conflicts, and alliances. These subtle shifts keep the series from feeling stagnant, proving that Hudson and Rex can survive major changes while still staying true to its essence. In the end, Who Replaced John Reardon isn't just about an actor taking on a role, it's about a show daring to take risks. Season 8 signals that Hudson and Rex is willing to reinvent itself rather than fade away, and the new lead is at the center of that gamble. Whether fans embrace this change wholeheartedly or continue to long for Hudson, one thing is certain: the series has entered a brand new chapter. And as always, Rex remains the loyal constant, reminding viewers that while faces may change, the spirit of the show lives on. Asterisk. The biggest question hovering over Hudson and Rex Season 8 isn't just about who replaced John Reardon, it's about whether the show can survive, or even thrive, after such a dramatic cast change. Whenever a long-running series loses its central character, the balance of everything shifts: the tone, the relationships, and even the way the audience connects to the story. For Hudson and Rex, the impact of Reardon's departure goes far beyond just missing a familiar face. It challenges the very foundation of the show because for years, Hudson wasn't just another character. He was Rex's anchor, the human half of a duo that defined the series. Now, the future rests on how well the new lead can step into that world and create something meaningful while still honoring what came before. One of the first impacts of this shakeup is how storylines evolve. In earlier seasons, the emotional heart of the series often came from Hudson's backstory, his quiet struggles and his personal journey alongside Rex. With a new character at the helm, the writers now have a chance to explore fresh angles. They can introduce new personal conflicts, different philosophies about law enforcement, or even more dramatic clashes within the team. This opens the door to storylines that feel less predictable because the audience is still learning who this new detective really is. While some fans may initially resist these changes, others might find them refreshing proof that the show isn't afraid to reinvent itself. Another major effect is the dynamic with Rex. For 7 seasons, viewers grew accustomed to the seamless bond between Hudson and Rex. They trusted each other completely, and that trust became the emotional glue of the series. Now, audiences are watching that trust being rebuilt from scratch. This brings a different kind of suspense, not about solving crimes, but about whether Rex will fully accept his new partner. Moments of hesitation, small tests of loyalty, and gradual displays of respect all become powerful storytelling tools. In many ways, Rex becomes the audience's stand-in, reflecting their own skepticism and slow warming toward the newcomer. If Rex believes in this detective, maybe viewers will too. The ripple effect also touches the rest of the team. Sarah, Donovan, and Jesse are no longer interacting with the familiar steady presence of Charlie Hudson. Instead, they must adapt to a new personality, someone who may challenge their methods or push them out of their comfort zones. These shifts can lead to new friendships, tensions, and even rivalries, giving the ensemble cast more opportunities to shine. It also prevents the series from becoming stagnant. After years of settled relationships, Season 8 shakes things up, forcing both characters and fans to adjust, whether audiences like it or not. This fresh energy might be what keeps Hudson and Rex moving forward, but the biggest impact is emotional. For fans, losing Hudson feels like losing part of the family. Some viewers may never fully accept the change, while others might embrace the new detective as the series progresses. This divide in the fanbase is something the producers will have to navigate carefully. They need to strike a balance between paying tribute to Hudson's legacy and giving the replacement space to stand on their own. Ignoring Hudson would alienate loyal fans, but relying too much on his memory could prevent the new character from developing. The way the show handles this balance will likely determine its long-term success in terms of the show's future. This casting shift could either extend its lifespan or bring it closer to an end. If fans embrace the new energy and storylines, Season 8 could be remembered as the start of a bold new chapter. If not, it could mark the beginning of the show's decline. However, television history has shown that bold recasting can sometimes breathe new life into a series. By leaning into the change instead of running from it, Hudson and Rex is showing confidence that the series can be bigger than just one character. The question is whether the audience shares that confidence. One thing that hasn't changed, and perhaps never will, is Rex himself. The dog remains the heart of the series, the loyal partner who connects with both his detective and the viewers at home. No matter who takes the human lead, Rex's presence ensures continuity. As long as he's solving cases, showing loyalty, and being the emotional center of the show, Hudson and Rex still carries its soul. That may be the most important reassurance for fans struggling with the change. The human lead may have shifted, but Rex is still here, guiding the series forward. Ultimately, the impact of John Reardon's departure and the arrival of his replacement isn't just about casting, it's about evolution. Hudson and Rex is no longer the same show it was in season 1, and maybe that's the point. Change is risky, but it also keeps a story alive. Fans now face a choice: to hold on to the past or to step into the unknown future alongside Rex and his new partner. And perhaps that's the most fitting legacy for Charlie Hudson, to remind us that partnerships can change, but loyalty, trust, and heart will always be at the center of the story.